Okay. Okay, it is Thursday, February 7th, correct? At 6:03 PM, and we're going to call a meeting to order. Present is Cindy Brandt, Renee O'Donnell, Brian Carlisle, Skip Smith is absent. And let me see if I can get this stood up here. Okay. So, do you want to do public comment, or do you want to go right to the warrants? Public comment? Everybody all good? Okay. Warrants. Let me read these off here. So we have PY warrant number 62 for $8,506.71. AP warrant number 63 for $40.20. AP warrant number 64 for $1,964.50. AP warrant number 65 for $1,605 even. PY warrant number 66 for $4,321.63. AP warrant number 67 for $9,754.34. AP warrant number 68 for $1,323 even. AP warrant number 69 for $109.60. AP warrant number 70 for $3,942.47. AP warrant number 71 for $5,369.81. PY warrant number 72 for $8,598.19. And AP warrant number 73 for $21,517.98. I'd like to make a motion that we accept the warrants as read.
Second.
All in favor? 2-0. Okay, the minutes, I read the first one. I have not read the second one. How about you?
Yeah.
You have?
I have.
Okay. Give me a second here, I'll just peruse the big part of that. Okay, I am comfortable with the minutes. I'd like to make a motion that we read the minutes for December 3rd, that we accept the minutes for December 3rd, 2018 meeting, and the minutes for January 7th, 2019 meeting.
Second.
Second, all in favor? 2-0. Okay. Agenda adjustments, no, we don't need that, for departments. Fire chief.
I'd skip that one, I heard you.
Okay.
You're right, I might have scared you. We'll start easy.
Well, yeah, that's all right, let's do that one first.
Alright,
Okay.
so we've made all the calls, we're looking really good, getting our training done all there. There's real excitement.
Okay.
Alright, so 497 has issues. Right now we have 3 months left on the inspection. We're working to hopefully do some repairs to get it inspected again and get us at least another year.
Okay, and truck 497 is
the air truck.
Is the air truck, just
Yes.
for the sake of this. Okay.
So there is welding stuff that needs to be done on the frame,
Okay.
and Sean can back me up here. Freightliner doesn't do the welding on the frames.
Okay.
They'd have to ship it out anywhere to somewhere else anyway.
Okay.
Right now, according to them, it would not pass inspection with the frame it is. So I still need to go out to a couple other places to get estimates, see if they'd be able to do the work on the frame and see if it would pass an inspection.
Mm-hmm.
If not, you have that nice packet I handed out to you guys to have.
It's pretty heavy.
Right. Then it's just the initial, this is just from Autotronics, so we haven't gone shopping around to get any other quotes yet. This is just, give us a ballpark of what replacing 497 would be.
Okay.
So it's different truck options, then it even goes into the back pages, financing on each truck that they have there. But we're tracking down the actual grant paperwork that this is written on. From everyone telling me this has to stay as a mobile unit, has to be in service and available to the mutual aid community. And that's what was written into the grant package and what was approved by, and I believe this one was out of FEMA.
Okay,
So this is something we have to keep on the road.
okay. So you're saying you don't have the grant package with you though?
It was written off the last department. I
Okay,
have some people digging in to try to find it. We actually spoke with the people that wrote the grant, and they're gonna try to find copies of it.
all right. Have you gotten any estimates on the welding yet?
Not yet. We just got this on Tuesday.
Mhm.
I worked yesterday, and
Right,
so I'm working on it this week and next week.
okay,
But this is just worst case scenario, 3 months, we might be scrambling to try to figure out what to do. Best
Okay.
case is we get another year to figure out what to do.
okay.
So the previous grant made it mandatory that we cover the vehicle.
The way I believe it was written to the grant was Newburgh, once the grant was submitted, they gave us the truck and everything. It was up to Newburgh to maintain that truck for the surrounding communities.
The unit.
Yeah, the air unit itself has
The
to
air
be mobile,
unit.
so we have to.
had the truck.
Can I speak on this?
But
Mine
you-
would be,
Oh, okay,
Stuff with you.
Because it's from the old regime before
Right.
he was here, so
Sure.
I just think that I got better information from you. So when this grant was written, it was written by Alan Wilsey and his wife, along with Gary Sibley.
okay,
The grant was approached by us with all the surrounding towns, and each town wrote a letter saying that if we were to acquire this air unit, then they would use this air unit very happily.
right,
Because this is something that nobody had at the time. We are the first town to have a mobile air unit for SCBA's. So we had letters from surrounding towns, from the fire chiefs, giving support. And in the grant, it was written to back the letters that obviously this air unit would be available to any and all surrounding communities.
right,
At any time, we would send the truck to any town for a structure fire, for use and need for the bottles to be refilled. We came up with the vehicle, thanks to Discount Towing at the time. They had a truck they had just taken out of service, over there as a road service truck, and they donated it to the town. So it was acquired there, and the air system was put into that truck,
Okay.
once the grant was accepted.
Let me just ask a couple questions, just because I'm not familiar with the truck.
Yep.
What year is the current truck?
It's 1998.
1998, and is it a ton truck, a diesel? or-
1 ton.
1 ton?
Yep.
Okay,
And it is a diesel. Yep.
diesel. And and how big is how big is the air unit? Do you guys have to make a box for it, or?
Well,
Yeah.
it completely takes up a ambulance body.
Okay,
That's what the 497 body style is, an old ambulance body that we put onto their chassis at Discount Towing. This unit completely fills that whole body space. It's a very large unit and it's extremely heavy.
yeah,
You have a compressor, you have the fill system with all of the valve banks and everything that runs the air for the bottles to be filled.
right,
And then on the left side, you have 3 tanks, very large tanks that, 4 tanks, sorry, 4 that hold all the compressed air so that one bottle covers each bank. We have a 4-bank fill
6,000
system,
pound of it.
okay.
6,000
And
PSI.
you guys built that body?
The body was
The body was our first
our
ambulance.
first ambulance,
Okay,
and it went from that to their chassis. We did install it on the truck. We did everything back then to get that truck ready for this air unit when it was accepted through the grant.
okay. Does
It's
the grant have a timeline? I mean,
for,
does it say, we'll give you this truck and you have to keep it in service and provide it to the other towns for?
it's an indefinite, we have it forever, as long as we are able to keep the air system mobile and available to any surrounding community,
Yeah,
the air system is Newburgh's to
Okay.
have.
okay. So now, do other towns have air trucks now?
Nope,
No, so
Just
Holden
Holden has
has,
a trailer.
Holden has a trailer.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask, is this something that could be trailable?
nope,
We'd have to get another vehicle. We checked 498, that just the whole towing capacity, if that was even allowed to be used, wouldn't be able to support the trailer weight that this is gonna,
And what's 498?
that's the rescue truck.
Okay, all right, all right.
the system that Holden has is not comparable to the same system that we have. Their system is a mobile unit, but it's not a powered, full powered unit like we have. They can bring their system out. It's what they call a cascade unit. They have to take it back to their station and they fill their supply bottles, the big bottles.
Right.
And then they just bring it out and they can refill off it. What's different is ours has a self-contained
there.
unit.
Right.
It's a
Right.
powered
Okay,
unit.
okay.
Our air is made right on the truck.
So you're never out of air?
We're never out of air.
Okay,
And we have it serviced every year, it's tested every year to
Certified
pass,
to the truck.
yeah,
Okay.
to that truck.
okay,
So it's a very specific setup,
yeah,
and trailering it just isn't going to be an option. I have talked to Ralph, twice since this whole thing has come up,
right,
and both times Ralph has said, I do not even wanna consider a trailer.
okay.
So I'm just putting it out so you guys understand, this is not just a couple of little air bottles that you throw
Right.
on there and drive away with. I mean, this is a very, even on that one truck that we have, it's always been a truck that we've had to make sure whoever's driving it is understandable to weight, distribution, braking, everything that has to go with that, because the truck is really at its peak max capacity for weight braking. I mean, it's there. This thing has a lot of weight and it pushes hard, so you've gotta be very careful with the truck. Scott
Get a
actually,
little floaty.
Scott is our driver, he does a great job,
Okay,
but it's obviously has become an issue in terms of safety because of the fact that the front end is
So-
getting,
the frame rotted out on this
on the
existing?
front end,
On
yes.
the front end?
It was starting to get holes. There's a hole in the cross member, there's a hole on the, what they call the inner skin of the passenger side, John?
Driver's side.
Driver's side frame rail. So, you know, it's one of those things that, at this point, if we could catch it, we can't heal it, we can only just pass it up and make it so that it gets by for a short time.
I got under it myself and it's scaly.
Okay,
The frame rail is scaly.
And
There's no physical holes
Yeah.
through the outside part of the structural part of the frame, but the inner side of the frame that comes down to the front to the back has a hole in it.
okay.
And it's
And-
close to it's kinda close to the shackle bracket that mounts to the rear of the spring to the front axle.
Which is what supports your whole system.
Right. Do you have, who do you guys, do you have somebody that's gonna take a look at the frame?
Leonard's Automotive is who we're hoping
Who?
Leonard's?
Leonard's? Okay,
over in Carmel.
okay,
We do not know if they will do it. We were just told that they have done some frame repairs. So we're gonna go see them about this. The only,
Get somebody with an inspection license.
right, someone that has an inspection license, so that when it's repaired, we can say to them, would you put a sticker on this now that you know what you did for work?
right,
That's why we're trying to incorporate it, keep it all under one roof for this particular repair, so that when it's done, you know, if they look at us and say, if you let us do it, yes, we'll put a sticker on it, then we're good. I don't wanna just take it somewhere and have someone throw some weld on it, then say, good luck.
right.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Does Bushard's weld? H.O. Bushard
Yeah,
in their shop? Because I know they do commercial inspections.
Yes, they do.
That's the only reason I say
yeah.
that.
I'm just not, I would have to check on the
And we do
framing
as
part.
well, but they just didn't wanna do a frame rail on a vehicle, pickup
With that
vehicle.
kind of weight?
Yeah.
If it was a tractor and trailer where they double frame them and piece them and put them together, that's different. This
Right.
is a physical rust spot, they did not wanna touch it. For
Okay,
liability
Liability
reasons.
reasons,
Sure.
which is understandable.
They'll repair the front end and get it lined up, but
At this time, what brought this all on was that, upon doing one of our monthly inspections, we noticed that the tires are sitting offset from driver's side to passenger side. When you look at the tire, you've got about a ½ inch of tire showing to the driver's side, and there's probably, what, 1.5 inches to the passenger side. So we knew something obviously wasn't right, the whole front end had shifted. And that's what caused us to have some concern, obviously, and take it in to get it initially looked
It
at.
runs off in shackles and it's got a bushing in between them. The bushing is cracked and one of them is pretty much missing, worn out. So the shackles itself is sitting sideways towards the frame and actually rubbing the frame.
Okay.
That's a,
It's
with
going to
with
need
the
all that.
famous mainspring roads, that can become an issue, you know, that we've got to address.
I'm driving it.
And with what you're saying too, if the repairs are made, it's only gonna give us another year.
Correct.
Yeah, at least a year.
Yeah. We tried to get, well, on the paperwork where they wrote it out, we talked to Freightliner, or I talked to Freightliner Service myself, and said to them, could you, or would you give us a definitive answer on something for a timeline? If this did pass a repair and was able to actually be inspected, could you give us a timeline that you would expect this to last? And they flat out said, no way.
Right. How much does the actual compressor part weigh? How much weight are you put on the truck? I mean, I know a little bit about weight on trucks.
Oh, yes.
Just because of what we do, but how much weight would you say is on it?
600 people? On the 600
Do you know what that is for?
That, because you've got a 1 ton.
Yeah.
I get that, but you've got this weight on the back, this permanent weight on the back.
Yep, when we put that on, we actually had to block the body on the frame rail to get the body set up with extra support, so that when this came in, it wouldn't completely set it right down because it squatted the rear
Yeah, that's
suspension.
right.
The original ambulance that
Yeah.
it was put into, it wouldn't hold it.
Nope,
After the first, I don't even know if it was a year, it drugged it.
Right.
They ended up getting this truck off in discount.
I can't give you,
Which is
I
much
can
heavier.
find an answer for you, Renee, as far as the weight,
Okay.
for the total system, so that I have that for you. I
I would
don't
be,
have it
I would
tonight.
be interested to know that, so that when you're talking to somebody, or when you're welding, or when you're, hey, we've got to support X number of pounds
Yep.
in that vicinity.
And that truck will, when I go with Drew, we may just go over first physically to talk to him, and then bring the truck physically there. Obviously, I want them to see what we have for a system
Yeah.
and what the unit is to the truck, so they have an idea of what we're looking at. Because that may, I mean, if,
That may.
that may tell them or say to them, hell no. I mean, I gotta be honest with you, somebody may look at that and say, we're not gonna take the liability factor or the responsibility with that kind of weight pushing this
Right.
98 truck that's, you know, it's got some wear. I mean, it's not a new truck.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a given, it's
If
21
you-
years old.
If you, so you're gonna contact Leonard's.
Yep.
Carnival. Have you thought about, I mean, can you just give Bushards a call and see if they would even
Oh, yeah,
entertain
absolutely.
it?
Oh, so we gotta get more than one. I mean,
Yeah.
that was the one we got recommended, actually through Freightliner. Because they
Okay.
have had some trucks come in that Leonard had done framework on.
Okay,
And when it was asked who did it, they said Leonard's had done it for them. So they just gave us that name because they knew of one or two
And
trucks.
Leonard's was fairly reputable, is that?
I can't give you that because I don't honestly personally know enough
They're kind
on
of just getting into
the
the
heavier side.
heavy equipment towing. They do towing typically for
Okay.
smaller vehicles.
Yeah.
And they're just now getting into the heavier market since Stewart's gone out.
Okay,
So we have always used Stewart's, and now we've switched to Leonard's.
right, right.
So we're kind of working.
So you've got a little bit of a relationship there,
Yeah.
okay.
So it's,
Okay, so,
I mean, this is just initial stages, obviously, just so you guys have an idea of what might be coming down the road later.
The-
Right.
The
We'll
the
have
thing
a
with
lot
the
more
frame is that it
information
could,
coming in.
within the year, come another hole somewhere else, that is what they're thinking. They don't dare to go out and say, yeah, it can pass inspection another year, when they don't know that. A good bump can knock another piece of that rust off and you get a hole again.
I wonder if the state has any surplus vehicles.
You know, I think anything a 4500 series
yeah,
up
450
would
to 45, yeah.
be suitable for that unit
yeah,
safely.
so you're saying the unit itself is fine?
Yeah.
The unit
the
itself
air
is
system
Your air
already-
system is
yes,
fine?
yeah.
Perfect, yep.
That has to be tested yearly.
Yep.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that, it's just finding something for it to go
Back
into.
Okay.
Autotronics was almost right next door to Freightliner, so we took the truck right next door and
Said,
just give us some numbers, show us what you got,
yeah,
so we can,
These numbers that you have on you, Drew, including a body that's on the truck?
Yes,
yes, this is,
these are complete units.
when we drive it off their lot, it is, we can drive it straight to a scene and it'll operate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's with them taking the system out and putting it
100%
in.
ready to go.
Oh, so this is
oh,
complete.
this is
Yep.
purchasing the truck and then,
They'll do all the work, they will do everything, they'll paint it, do lights, they'll do everything, and it'll come out of their lot. And we drive
Ready
straight
for
to the
service.
Yep,
Oh.
ready to be put right into
Yes,
service.
That's,
Chris,
that's-
were you happy with Autotronics?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
They
usually-
were very responsive
the open
and
question
yes.
was-
they did a good job with the installation.
Right. Mr. Carlisle, anything you'd like to say?
Thank you guys helped. That's my guy, wasn't it?
He's still, he's still trying to take a deep breath.
I'm sure Ralph comes next time.
I'm sure Ralph has next time.
We really honestly would like to see this become a year out plan for everybody, so that we have enough time to work on this.
One of my concerns would be to take a real close look at the other vehicles and prioritize. I mean, what if one of the engines needs to be replaced?
Hopefully that's what our emergency fund's for. Oh, we used to have them.
Krista.
No, I did not.
Oh, cut that out.
That was a different fun.
So, so this is just a sampling.
This
of-
is,
of
yeah, this
truck.
is,
Because we've gone
Yeah.
from 2019 to a 2007.
yes.
Maybe we could find something like a 2012,
Right,
you know,
and this
something
is-
in the middle, or,
Just
And
for
I'm
truck,
still
I mean,
doing a
this
lot
has
of-
a 2006, this is one that the Autotronics recommended was the D06.
right, right. The
So
2006 one,
Yeah,
It's
the
almost,
4500, they're just like the trucks that you have, Renee,
right,
that you and Rick have. That's the chassis line and the idea that I was looking for with an ambulance body, just because of the Duramax and the Allison
Right.
automatic, you just can't get a better combination.
right.
And they have that one
Can you-
sitting on their lot right now, empty.
Can you fit a vehicle in the station?
Well, with getting rid of 497, then we could.
Yeah, it's spot for spot now.
Autotronics said they would take it in scrap, whatever, and
Yep.
I mean, we could drive 497 there and walk away with a brand new one and never see old 497 again. They just pay us for the scrap,
Oh, kiss goodbye.
right?
Now, also, just because we need to think about the fact that we do have 3 months left on this inspection,
Yes,
so financially speaking, we also need to talk about whether or not you guys would find it feasible to even go ahead with buying the front end components that it needs to put this thing back into an
well,
alignment
that's why
factor.
I'm interested to hear what a
Right,
welding.
this is why we're trying to get the
Cost.
well answer, but we didn't want to come to you and say, hey, we need $2,000 plus another blah, plus another blah,
Right.
and then only have it last 3 months, and then run out of an inspection and out of a truck. That just was foolishness to do that to you guys, so this is why we kind of opened the whole,
And it needs to be looked at a little better, because our guys did not get underneath there and fine tooth comb that thing, they just,
I was gonna say, inspection aside, is it safe for you to be driving?
as of right
as of
now,
right now, it's.
Drive it.
you
What-
got-
Did you get an estimate, or was that an invoice, or?
This is a partial estimate on the front end parts to get it from, is this from now until 3 months from
The
now?
end of
Or is
3
this what
months.
needs to be done to pass inspection?
that needs to be done to pass
Yes.
inspection.
Okay,
Plus the
Or-
frame, plus the framework.
Let me
and-
rephrase that, that needs to be done before they can do the alignment.
Okay,
okay, so we
so-
really ought to wait for the welding quote.
We
get
need
it
to know
all
whether
together
that
before
frame
we make
is
any
worth.
decisions.
I won't
Right.
make a decision, but I'm interested to see how much that is. Okay, so,
It's anywhere from $15 to $2,000
right,
roughly.
so these two quotes, one, I'm just saying this for this, you guys.
Yeah.
This is for 4 more bushings, no alignment, no frame repair, would be $1,143.
Correct.
And then this one is for alignments,
That was the
That was
initial.
prior to that other one, that's
Oh.
no good.
This
Yeah.
is no good, okay.
That one there I wouldn't go with on, because that was prior to us getting the rest of the information from them.
I think it just had a little more notes on it, is what.
Right,
Yes.
right.
And the $1,400 doesn't
No,
include the
it's not
stuff
well,
that's on
No
the.
welding, no alignment.
Well,
We don't know, we gotta go
I mean,
tomorrow.
well,
Would you
Okay.
have an idea?
it depends, if they just fix that one spot on the frame, or if they do the cross members, there's two cross
So-
members, and they both got rust in. Both cross members.
Right.
What I'd like to say is this, let's try to get your estimates as quickly as possible, because budget season's coming up,
Right.
and, all that kind of stuff.
We could probably do that tomorrow, as far as getting at least the Leonards and push-outs, and get a couple numbers to play with for.
Right. Can you can drive it?
Oh, yes, it's not, it hasn't been taken out of service. It hasn't been
Okay.
deemed dangerous, it's just simply that it needs this work in order for it to become state certified for an inspection again.
Right.
This is the minimum that needs to be done.
Alright.
So it has to start with a frame repair, and then the components have to be put back in, and then it has to go back and have an alignment done. And at that point, like you said, if they say, we'll put the sticker on it after the frame repair, that's gonna give us 14 months, basically. We got a year plus another 2.5 months, whatever that's left on this one. They say we can do this, but there's no guarantee, you're still only at a 3-month window as far as the inspection left.
Right.
It's very
Yeah,
up in the air at this point, because we need to find out from whoever repairs it if they will definitely put a sticker on it for another year.
right,
The
That's
big
where
question
the,
is if you wanna put a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 in a truck that you may only get a year out of.
right, that's where the numbers are becoming, as we figured it up, we were,
just out of curiosity, I'm kind of curious about something, if you guys had, let's say you guys found a truck that was acceptable and, you know, the right size and everything, and you took it to Autotronics to get repainted, have this body put on here, do you know how much that would cost? I mean,
I can get that quote.
just out of curiosity, because if you could shop around and find yourselves a truck that was, you know,
Cab
that
and
fit,
chassis, that was-
cab and chassis,
Yep,
and
yep.
then you could put something on it, you know, there is a markup on vehicles, you know.
Right.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
know,
Yeah,
you
yes.
know that.
This is just, so you guys get to see something.
this was
Yeah.
just to
There's still
get
a couple
something
other
on
companies
paper.
that we're gonna go look at as well.
Okay, all right. Yeah, just if you, get us some estimates and,
Something else to think about too, though, with this particular unit that we have now, like he said, with the unit in the ambulance X body that's in now, there's no room to get in, you cannot get in the body at all. So everything that we're doing is outside of that truck for operations. So if it's raining or snowing, he's out there with a clipboard and a piece of paper trying to write numbers off bottles outside
right,
in that weather. So, I mean,
Hands up off the wall.
it would be good to have something, if we do go that route, a little longer, so that they have the extension to be able to get in under the
right.
cover a little bit, I guess you could say,
Yeah, that's,
to do the
You wouldn't put
paperwork.
the unit in a box,
Yeah.
you're not talking a box truck?
Oh, yeah,
Oh, you are
Yes,
talking
yes.
a box truck?
yeah. It's like I said, the body that we have now is an old ambulance body,
Right,
off the first one that we had.
the C4500 that's on there, I think it's the second or third one down.
yeah?
Option 3.
That is a former City of Boston ambulance. They have much bigger trucks.
Right.
Design-wise, wheelbase is a lot longer. The bodies are huge, 9'2" in height.
Right,
I believe the 145, I think, was the wheelbase on it, if I'm not mistaken. It's a much larger unit. That was the only reason why we looked at that one when he showed us pictures of it, because we knew that obviously City of Boston's gonna have bigger and better compared to a town of Newburgh, you know, and you look at the comparativeness. And then looking at our old one and then comparing it to theirs, we had so much more space to actually put people into work out of it instead of being working on the outside
right.
into it.
So
I
your,
mean-
so your air unit would go inside this box?
Yeah,
Yes.
You could step up?
and we
a
can
couple
actually
steps
step up
would be-
in and actually have a section of workspace where you could
Whoa.
write, you could do your thing without, as we said, standing out in the pouring rain or the snow and
Right.
trying to write stuff that you can't and having snow blowing all over the equipment as you open the doors. It's been that way forever. I mean, we've never complained because the machine, you know, the air service unit, the compressor, all, I mean, it's such a nice unit. It works well. But
Right.
to do it this time and accommodate it accordingly to making it work better would be great. This truck was handed to us from the body we already had. That's why you see the setup that you have now, because we had it dropped in our lap.
Right,
So nobody was gonna say no, I mean, it was there.
right.
So the next truck, we really need to look as a larger unit, something that we can work around the unit and have the guys be able to work inside the truck as well.
All right. There's any kind of grants that we can go after for this again?
Maybe.
Because we are
There's
the
some out
only,
there we can try for.
the only people in the area with this.
I talked to Cindy the other day, the Firehouse Subs is always doing grants, and, I mean, they give jet skis to Waterville, so.
They give jet ski to Waterville?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So there's,
Firehouse sub is,
They're-
they're
they're
amazing. They give out more money to fire departments, that's all they base themselves off.
Well, I was just thinking, because the first grant you got was because we're in a rural area.
Yep.
Nobody else out here has one.
And it's
It
still
is
the
a
same.
support vehicle,
Yep.
doing the same thing.
I actually talked to Ralph about it last night, and, we're gonna do a couple different ones,
Okay.
looking at a couple of different ones.
How long does it take, how long will it take to, if we found, let's say you found a grant and you wanted to apply for it, and did they, the time, what's the average turnaround time, I guess, in
They
year?
usually, like, I think, March is the deadline for applications for one of them. And they usually, the deadline, they're within 30 days afterwards,
They award.
The
Okay.
AFG, I think, is the longest one, and they're.
Yeah, I was still waiting for
It's
it.
Yeah.
a longer
Yeah.
wait.
So, but no, we discussed it last night about a couple of grants to try to see if we can't find some. So,
One more thing to you guys, just so that the paperwork that was done initially on that grant, as I had said, was written up by the old regime. Unfortunately, with everything that went on, a lot of paperwork has become null and void. We just can't find it. I don't know if I'm gonna have to say that to you on this yet. I've gotta go see Linda Hamilton, because she is like the guru of paperwork for us.
Sure.
And I'm hoping that she has something. When I talked to Al Whittlesey the other day, I mean, he knew, obviously he remembered the grant well.
Right.
They had written it, him and his wife.
Sure.
He knew all the ins, the outs, the specifics, and I even called and talked to Skip and asked Skip if he remembered when we did it, and said, do you remember the stipulations? And the first thing he said is, yes, that truck has to stay rolling. If we lose the power unit availability, then technically it becomes questionable as far as the grant being still good for us.
Right. Well, that's
So-
why I asked on the
Yeah.
length.
And I just wanted, I want you to be aware that I can't promise what we're gonna have for availability on the paperwork, because there was a lot of stuff that came up.
Do you remember what year you wrote it? Because the truck was,
She's
the
testing you guys.
truck is a
The
98.
truck is a 1998,
But that's the second truck.
Yeah, that's right.
So
So it
Yeah,
must
it
have been
is.
the early 2000s.
we had, I was just gonna say 2003. I'm trying to put it in my head. I think it was, I can call Al Whittlesey and get
Yeah,
that
it's
answer for
okay,
you.
I just,
That one, I know he would probably be able to give me a timeline. But no, I don't have the exact answer for that. But like I said, I just want you to be aware, I mean, there's nothing fishy as far as, if the paperwork isn't
oh, yeah.
accessible, I can't give you any more than what you have to take for my word, or all of our word, as far as what the setup was. Because at this point, we just don't know where the papers went to.
Right,
But maintaining this asset in Newburgh is, I think, huge for Newburgh, to get us,
We're going to go
out to the other towns as well.
I mean,
It is called for. I know we called it on the base before to do our bottles when our system shuts down, so.
You've been called where?
We've called this truck to base before
Oh,
to fill all of our air bottles. So it is a very nice unit to have in this area.
Oh, yes.
And it's very marketable to us.
Yeah,
That's what I say.
originally, we had, I believe it was 5 letters of recommendation from surrounding towns, Hamden, Carmel.
so Hampton doesn't have a
Dixmoor.
truck like this?
No, they absolutely
There's
just,
very few in the area that have.
they
mobile.
worship that truck. It's just an awesome setup. I mean, there was nobody around here had anything like that. You know, you were chasing, before this, when you had a fire, you kept emptying bottles and throwing them in the back of trucks, and you would take off and go to Bangor Fire. And Bangor Fire would have one of their guys out, you'd call ahead and let them know, and they would be filling bottles for you right there at their station and throwing them back in the truck and boogieing back to the fire scene. You know, it worked, but it was a very time-consuming and really kind of a waste of time, because you was always having to pull somebody away to go fill bottles up for all the towns that were there. And it was always, like I said, Bangor was, you know, they give a lot of time to do that. When we got this thing put into action, they were just amazed as well that we had something that would just go to the scene and.
All right, well, noted, duly noted,
Right.
that's for sure. Anything?
No.
No.
Well, he hasn't fallen on the floor yet, so you've done something right.
My head's spinning.
Yeah. Okay, is that, we have forestry grant on here, is this,
That's me.
that's you? Okay.
We put in for the forester grant, for fire, gear, for forest fire gear,
Right?
and the, we got accepted, which is a nice thing. But if you read that letter, when the girl put in the numbers, or whoever put in the numbers, because we put in for 12 sets of gear, they
Right?
put in the quote that was for 1, instead of reading the application.
Ouch.
So, this letter explains, and they were very apologetic, because when I got the letter, I'm going, I called him, and so what they're going to do is, they generally have money left over from these people that don't fulfill the grant, or don't get what they were supposed to, or whatever, but it doesn't come through until after June 30th, which
Okay.
is the deadline to purchase all your goodies that you got on the grant. So what they have promised us is after June 30th, if there are funds left, but they're pretty confident there will be, that we will get as many, we can purchase as many sets of gear as they can reimburse us their portion. But they won't know until after June 30th.
So, yeah, she says, now that the award letters have all been mailed out, it would not be practical to redo the reimbursement amounts to account for the mistake. I would think that would be very easy to redo the reimbursement
Oh
amounts.
no, they put out all the money, all the grant money, they award it right out to the last penny.
So they've already, but they haven't paid for anything yet.
But if they awarded everything and everybody spent everything, then,
And they're getting shorted,
um,
like us.
because I wasn't sure I made the application out correctly, and I went back to the application and it said 12 sets for a total of $4,956, and
Did we have to participate in that?
do we have to?
No, did we have to put funds to that as well?
Yes, it's is this one the 50/50 or?
It is.
Yeah.
So that's gonna have to be done again for the budget committee for next year.
Well, that's what, I talked to Ralph briefly. He can either, we can either, if he has enough left out of this budget, save it as a pending grant
Right?
payment,
Okay.
and if not, we'll have to take it out of next year's, but, we'll decide it, but I just wanted you
And
to.
what else, was that the only thing that we had on that one for asking items, was it the turnout gear?
The forestry gear.
Yeah, just the
Yeah.
12 sets, okay.
What is forestry gear?
What's the difference between forestry gear and regular gear?
It's a little lighter.
Typically
It's
we have,
the yellow
pair-
suits and green pants,
Oh,
right, you
yeah.
see on the news.
Same thing you
That's
see the
what it is.
forest rangers wearing is exactly what we get.
Okay.
And I do have one other thing that's not on the agenda.
Okay.
I don't know, I almost think I CC'd you guys on this email. I emailed Stacy Guerin
Oh, yes, you did see
and, Dave Hagan about the, LD 47? Yeah. They're trying to get $25 million for a bond to build fire stations. But they need to get it through legislature, so I sent an email to both the people that can help us with that, to encourage them,
To keep us in mind.
It would be a great asset if they were to push that and be in favor of it and do what they could to get it enacted, because Newburgh really could use it. So,
Yes, I do remember that email. Okay. Is that it for the fire department?
so,
I know, no more from you guys, right?
There's no fans at the fire stations.
I think so, I'm all set.
Okay. Okay, well, that was a lot to digest right there. Okay, how about rescue department? How about you, Chris?
So we were dispatched to 18 calls last month, and we were able to respond to 16 of them.
Okay,
We had a work session, putting up some, hanging equipment in the station, so some of our stuff would get off the ground, and the ladders and things like that. Not the fire ladders, but the step ladder and things like that. And we also had 2 trainings. One was, we joined the fire division and Carmel Fire over at their station for some bloodborne pathogens and respiratory training, as well as a training here at our office on airways. We also completed the installation of the running boards, and that project actually came in below what I quoted you and also below what I sent in the email.
I noticed that.
So we were able to do that project as well as get the part to replace the fog light for $951 and some change. I have to take the vehicle over to Autotronic to see what it would cost to have the fog light replaced, to also put in the LED warning light that's in there. We still are maintaining our membership at 5 licensed members.
Okay.
And not on my report, but something I also want to talk about is, if you recall, in the spring of 2018, we were awarded grant for turnout gear, EMS turnout gear. I'd like to go ahead and purchase that gear now, before that runs out, so we don't lose that money. So just to refresh, that's 2 sets of EMS turnout gear for a total of $2,880. The grant will reimburse $1,920, so the cost to the town will be $960, which is less than 1 set of gear. So I'm going to take that out of the rescue equipment budget, which had a balance as of the end of last month of $3,697.18, with the town's portion, taxpayer portion taken out, it would leave a remainder of $2,737.18.
Say the remainder again?
$2,737.18.
You all set with that?
Yeah, that had already been.
Yeah, I know
anyway,
that,
right?
we did
So,
that, yeah. So,
Does that bring up to 4 turnout?
4
gears?
sets, yeah.
4 sets of turnout.
And just for Oh, no, actually, I'm all set, that's it. Yeah.
So what's that turn up gear consist of, pants, jacket, and a helmet?
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen, I have a set, Tom has a set, boots as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and the helmet that's got the shield that comes down, for like getting into the vehicles if there was an extrication situation.
Yep.
And on fire grounds for Woodward area as well.
Sure.
Okay. Mr. Wilson, how are you this evening?
Still here,
How's the library?
still
Just
here.
fine. Okay. You need anything?
No, we're all set.
Just some volunteers?
Always volunteer.
Always volunteers, okay. I got the animal control report.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
I do.
She does really good.
It really is, getting aside.
Does he have enough paper?
I love her, I like her report, she's so detailed. She's like telling us a story about what happened. So that's all set. Town manager.
I believe I gave you a copy. We had a physical general assistance audit for the first time in a long time.
Okay.
Final approval. He was gonna ask for money.
David Bailey is the new person out of Bangor. He came out and went through the records and we, he had a couple of things. The new application, I wasn't using one part of it. They want us to start using it, so other than that.
Include all
we
three
were okay.
columns of the.
Yep.
Exactly. That'll be the new one.
I have few across on that book twice.
Oh, we're doing badges.
I
Badges, that'll be the new, or
went
whatever.
back and just to let you know that the propane heaters, I don't have it confirmed yet, because I haven't got the oil prices from last year. But I know with oil, we were burning just about, they were coming every week at like 112 gallons. So, we're burning about 100 gallons of propane. But we were paying $2.60 a gallon for oil,
Yeah,
and we're paying $1.51 a gallon for propane.
yeah.
Holy.
How do you get that one?
I'm gonna bring my tank up with it.
Right?
Yep, and the
Holy
last,
cow.
the last visit was $1.43.
From who?
Dead
Red
River.
River.
Had to start at Dead River to say
Yeah.
say what they're doing was.
Yeah, me too.
So,
Holy cow.
but,
That's good.
Depends on who you are, I guess.
yeah,
But did I read in somebody's report, though, that there isn't any fuel to run the propane? Or did I do that?
there isn't any what?
Propane to run the propane heaters.
Up at the fire station?
Well, I thought that's the way I took it, but I don't remember where I read it.
No, heaters are running.
Your furnaces are all
That
good?
thing that I made,
That would be a
shows you
big
the
deal.
deliveries they've been
It would be
making.
a very big deal.
It looks like it's
That's
something.
weird.
On Browns, it says new furnace is working really well, except the back meeting room is cold, need to look at something for that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
No heat back there.
Yeah. Well, that's good. $1.51's a lot better than $2.64.
Dot, did you have the numbers for what Chris was supposed to bring up?
Did get a message from him right now. The badges were approved with you.
Mhm.
Okay.
It is, well,
The fire
he never
side
told me.
never got told, so
he
we're,
never told me, so, the lady that's setting it all up, I needed a yes or a no. So if it's been approved, then I'll go ahead and give it a yes, but. Last he
You
told
better
me,
talk to him,
last he told me.
because he was gonna
had-
order them. That's what he asked me.
Okay, so, general assistance, fuel costs. You wanna move on to cemetery committee, is nothing?
Nothing.
Did you have anything else, Cindy?
Oh, what I saw.
No, I
Okay.
Yes, one other thing.
Okay.
After, I've been since September, trying to get a hold of somebody from Spectrum to see about getting Spectrum in Newburgh.
Please.
After several phone calls and emails with no response, I finally got a name of a gentleman, and I emailed him on yesterday and explained to him the dates that I'd called, the person I'd called, the email I sent, and surprisingly today, somebody contacted me.
Wonderful.
So, they asked me to send a list of the roads and the house numbers along with the maps of the town, and they would review the details and see what the project would look like and what options they would have to move forward. So,
Well, at least we're having a conversation.
Yeah.
I think.
it's been a long
But mine's
time.
already running down most of the roads anyway.
Huh?
Well,
'Cause I
there's
have it at my
no,
house.
there's
It's
no
just not,
cable, like, there's no Spectrum's not on
Yeah.
69. You would think it would be at least on the corridor,
yeah, 'cause
because,
2 houses up has Spectrum. I tried to,
where do you, oh, what?
I'm up on 69,
Oh,
yeah, almost stood back to the Hamden line.
oh. So it's come down to it's at the
They
Hampton
said if
line?
I was at the sign, they would hook my house up.
Yeah,
And I said, just drop the wire there and I'll run it through the woods.
right, exactly.
They wouldn't do it.
But you would think they would come down that main
Yeah, they
corridor.
said, when I talked to them, so this might have been, they just blown smoke at me, but they said it was 69 was covered all the way back, basically into Carmel, and Route 9 had it all the way out
Does
through.
Route 9 have Spectrum?
But it'd be like next time down, you know, it comes into Hamden,
'Cause
so I don't know if
It's
they-
all around us. It's in
Yeah.
Hampton, it's in Carmel.
Yeah, to say it's in town on us.
It's at the end, I believe that, if I remember this right, at the town line, at the end of the North Road, where the North Road turns into Cook Road,
Yeah.
there's cable right there.
Yes.
But it doesn't come down the North Road, because my whole life I've been
So
trying to
keep your
get.
fingers crossed, I'll keep working with them, see what
Okay.
we can come up with.
We'd love to sit down and we'd love to entertain them in a meeting some evening or
Yeah.
morning or whatever. I'd love to have a conversation with them.
But this thing they're doing is that feasibility study, which
Yeah,
I've been told has been done before. We'll see how it goes,
right.
so.
Okay, well, let's keep on then. Okay, cemetery committee, we have nothing. Roads, anything on roads?
Nope, other than we have a frozen culvert that we're keeping an eye on down at Kenny Porter's driveway
Okay. Down
on the Chapman Road.
the hunk of ledge.
It's actually, yeah,
Yeah,
it's running out around and down the edge of the road. I mean,
it's because it's all ledge.
Yeah.
It's not going in, yeah.
yeah.
Just don't want it to wash out the road.
Right, we don't want it to wash out the road, so we're just keeping an eye on it. Scott and Ed and them are all aware of it,
Okay.
and they're keeping an eye on it.
All right, so then we have the audit management letter.
Yes, this is the one we were looking for that gave recommendations.
Right?
Didn't come with the audit, it came different.
Okay. all
And the
right.
only thing that she has noted in here is the credit cards, and we don't have a credit card policy.
Right.
Well, you know, I kind of read that and I kind of take issue with that. We do have a purchasing policy. Why doesn't that cover credit card purchases?
She wants, what she wants is a policy of who has them, where they're kept,
For the use
the
of the.
security of them, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Regulating,
So for,
not so much what you can buy with it or how much you can buy with it, but who has them, where they're kept, the security of them.
for the record, because of the minutes, I'm gonna read this part. It says, during our audit, we observed the town has credit cards and charge accounts for small incidental town expenses. While expenses are approved on the warrant and receipts are kept on file at the time of this audit, there is no written policy for usage of the cards, meaning who gets them, who doesn't get them, is that what she's saying? No misuse of the accounts was noted during this audit, however, we recommend that the board put a policy in place outlining what the charge accounts can be used for, who can use them, and a dollar limit on purchases using the accounts. Is there currently a dollar limit on any of, for,
Yeah,
well,
'cause
yeah, there is, because you
the
come to
100,
us.
Right,
the
500.
500.
Right, you come to us if you want to buy something with, even with a credit card, you have to come to us.
Right.
If it's,
Over
if it's
five-
over $100, they have to come to me,
Right,
and if it's over $500, they have to come to you.
okay. So she's just referring to who actually can use the credit card?
Yes.
Okay.
Where they're kept, how they're kept, who's allowed to use them, where they're allowed to use them, so. So I will get some samples, try to draft something that,
Okay. Okay. Okay, then we've got an audit proposal for the next 3 years.
16 of 18 dollars.
Is this from the same?
same girl for the next 3 years.
Okay.
And she's quoting the same price as this year for the upcoming. And then it will be $100 more the next year for the next 2 years.
Absolutely.
So it's $5,500 one year and $5,600 the next 2 years.
Where did she line that out? Am I missing that? Where is that?
Next to the
Proposed
last
page 11. Oh, there's a lot of pages for. She put a resume in here again, huh?
Yeah. I think it's right.
There we go, okay, all right. I think that's acceptable. We've been paying, she's been at 5,500.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what she was this year, yes. So,
Is there a contract or are we just?
I don't believe. Let me see what this
I guess where I'm going with this is if we need to commit to her.
Well, I think your commitment is year to year
Okay,
when you do that, commitment letter with her
okay.
for her services, so. If you're all set with that, I'll just tell her she's,
I am all set with that. Okay, my favorite thing, Penobscot County Treasurer's Office.
this is just an informational,
How much they're gonna raise your rate?
yeah. Budget increase.
He won't answer me.
They had an increase of. So 6,000, no, 6 million.
So our tax liability went up from 150, 269 to 157.8. So we're gonna owe them 157,800.
Yep.
Well, there's nothing to do about that, is there?
Don't have to pay anything, right?
Okay. We have to sign some trust documents.
Yes, they're right here.
Okay.
Did I give you copies of the note, the letter?
There's a letter, yeah?
Yeah, we have a trust, the Leroy Bickford Trust, and these are just letters that you sign that says, yes, we do use this money for what it is intended.
Okay. There's only one signature on here?
Yep, two, is there two? Is there two lines down at the bottom?
No, there's only one.
Yeah, that's all I need, then one.
Do you wanna do it?
No?
Smart man.
You already got it.
He didn't even hesitate. He had his pen put away.
His pen broke.
Oh, Brian. Where's that one? It's nothing attached like I'm responsible for a note or anything.
Personally responsible.
Right, like. Okay, there's that. Elections training.
Yes, I want to do this, um,
Yeah, I know you've been talking about this one.
well, this is the one that's mandatory every 2 years, and I haven't been for 2 years. And the other two girls haven't been at all.
Okay,
So what I'd like to do is shut down the office and let us all go
okay,
and get it over with, because they only have it close every other year. If you go on the off year, it's generally up to one of the ski resorts,
right.
and
This one's in Augusta.
this one's in Augusta, and we can travel back and forth. If you do the one on the off year, it usually ends up costing $300 or $400 to lodge somebody at.
Right.
And you're
Sugarloaf.
choosing not to go to the resort? Wow.
It's really boring up
Can
there.
I go next year?
So you want to send me?
It's really boring, there's nothing around.
So-
Here.
Day one is registrars, day two is clerks. Do you need it both days? So we have to shut down the office Monday and Tuesday?
Monday and Tuesday.
Can we
But
stay?
we're in May, so we have plenty of notice.
Okay. Could we be open like half a day on Friday just for that week, or no? Because we'd only leave Wednesday and Thursday. What do you think? Or you want to
I
just?
was thinking the same lines if it was way, but I thought, geez, we're paying them anyway for those 2 days, so.
Right.
It was real retirement.
Okay. Make sure,
But it's, I mean,
make sure it's advertised.
Yeah.
I kind of like to say you'll be closed Monday and Tuesday. We'll be open, maybe just open 8 to noon on Friday, even if it was just you maybe. Is that all right?
Generally here on Fridays and.
That's why I said that.
Yeah,
So, and we'll just cover for that week because
Yeah.
somebody's, sure as anything, somebody's gonna be upset about 2 days completely. But I totally get the fact that you need to get it done and over with.
wow,
He knows.
it's mandatory that you take it every 2 years,
They're
something.
shaking the door till it falls off
And
the
I
hinges.
just
They do, don't they?
Yep,
Yeah,
do it.
did the other training,
right.
but this is, what people don't understand is MMA has training on elections, which trains everybody on our elections, the town elections, the school elections, that sort of thing.
Right,
This is the state elections.
right.
So this is the state training us to do their elections, so,
No, that's cool.
okay?
So I'm fine with that. And I don't mean to push, but I know sometimes you hear it
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
so. And that would soften the blow, I feel like. Okay,
Yeah. The next thing is just letting you know that the budget committee, meets next Wednesday, next Wednesday, the 15th.
okay.
I think it's Wednesday,
yeah,
yes.
it is.
Okay.
That's their first meeting, their budget books are all done, and I've let them all know if they wanna pick them up. The foreclosed property, our list has dwindled quite severely.
Yeah?
On this list that I gave you, of course, Mr. Vino we're working on him. The Gould property actually foreclosed last year, but I haven't had time to deal with it. Ed hasn't gotten back to me.
Right, I know you said he's gone,
He's up in Mattawamkeag or up north somewhere today and couldn't talk to me, so.
Okay,
But, Mr. Layton is making he's made a big, huge payment, and, is gonna make 2 more big payments and get his paid, 2 to 3 to get his paid off.
Okay.
The only 2 I question is the, Alan and Cindy Dutton property, which I'm gonna wait and speak to Ed about,
Okay,
and also the Parodi property.
okay.
So those are the only 2 that we've got that are still questionable.
Okay.
All the rest of them all paid up, current to date, including March's payment,
Okay.
so.
And the Gould property actually foreclosed last year?
Yes.
We're just wondering what we're supposed to be doing with it, or what?
Well, once I talk to Ed, chances are I'll bring to you that we put them out to bid,
Okay.
one way or the other. That's actually just a bare piece of property.
Okay.
I think it's 20-some acres, and it's up past the Christmas tree farm on the Trundy Road. So,
That's weird. Okay. Okay. Do you have anything, Mr. Carlo?
No, back to the pump truck, or the air truck. I don't know if you remember, probably a couple of years ago, we had a conversation with Chief Rogers. And I happened to bring up my philosophy, my belief in the, regionalization of things. And his comment back to me was that, we really do regionalize in this area. Our department has a certain apparatus. Newburgh has an apparatus that we share. So in essence, we are sharing assets. So,
There's a lot of times where we'll get a fire tone for just the air truck. 'Cause everybody has an engine, most people have tankers, but nobody has that truck. So there's times where that rolls out by itself,
Just in support?
Yes.
Just a mutual aid? Think we can ask him for like 5 or 10 grand? Oh, goodness.
we could ask them anything. They're having fun.
Yeah. Okay. I guess that's it. Everybody all set? Set? Cindy, anything else?
I don't believe so.
Okay. So I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor? 2-0. It is 7:15 and we are adjourned.
Wow, that went great.